Hello everyone and welcome to Foreign Functions Social Engineering Webcast on Twitter. Reason that we want to cover Twitter is that really I think that it's one of the most misunderstood platforms in the social area. A lot of people think that it's just Facebook statuses or it's just a place for us to push our content with links that go back to our website. And really it's much more than that. The best way to describe Twitter would be an open conversation that you can jump in and jump out of just the same way that you would perhaps at a cocktail party. You can kind of eavesdrop a little bit on what people are saying. You can come in, you can add value to it, but you definitely don't want to be the person that's just pushing people to buy from you. You'd be very turned off if you met somebody at a cocktail party and their first interaction with you was to give you their business card and tell you to come in and buy something from them. Okay, so let's get into why we would want to tweet in the first place. There are 271 million active users on Twitter with an average of 208 followers, which is great because when we talk about word of mouth and trying to get people to recommend us to their friends and family, if we hand out a stack of business cards, the recommendation is only going to go as far as those business cards. I've never handed 208 business cards to somebody and asked them to recommend me to those people. But if we can get people to engage with us and share their salon experiences on Twitter, we have a potential of reaching much more. People that follow brands or businesses, 85% of them feel more connected to those people or businesses, which is great, right? Because the more connected the people are, the more that they're going to want to continue to be a guest of that salon or a person that goes to that business. A little known fact is that Twitter is actually a bigger search engine than Bing and Yahoo combined. And the advantage to using Twitter for search is that it's searching conversations as opposed to a Bing, a Yahoo, or a Google that is really just looking for keywords that are listed on a web page. So we're going to get into how to use that. And more sales. I mean, at the end of the day, any sort of marketing program, it's done in order to increase sales, right? And there are 72% of people are more likely to buy from businesses that they follow. Okay, so if you've ever taken one of our social classes, you may have heard us talk about our 3 C's. We really feel like our 3 C's, whether we're talking about Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, anything that we're doing on the social web, it comes down to having a program for these 3 C words, okay? The first word is content. Content is super important because really that's what's grabbing people's attention. Next is context and commerce. All right? So content is what you're sharing. Photos, videos, tweets, whatever it is, whatever you're putting out, that is the content that is representing you and your reputation or brand. Context is really the larger meaning. And it's really important for us to know the context of the conversation that we're trying to have. If we're talking to people, just for instance, about men's cutting, well, that message is geared towards men, right? So we want to make sure that we're giving people the right information with the right context. And lastly, and this is where I see a lot of people failing, is commerce. We are so big on having an online program for reservations or gift card sales. Right now in the salon industry, you can't really sell products online, but you can sell services, right? People can make reservations or they can buy gift cards or packages or whatever combination of those things that you may have. All right, but you have to have it. Anytime that a guest has to switch or do something, we call friction. All right. So if a guest finds us or if they're intrigued and they want to make a reservation for us and then they have to leave Twitter, they have to find our phone number, they have to call us, and then we have to put them on hold because we're too busy, it's all a bunch of friction, right? And the more friction, the more possibility that you have of losing that guest. So what we're really trying to do is make doing business with us as simple and easy as possible. And that's where online reservations come into play. So let's look at setup for just a moment. All right. Now, I'm not going to walk you through the entire process of setting up a Twitter page. I think that you guys can do that, or you may have already done that. There's just a couple of key points that I want to point out, and this is our salon, the Hair Loft in Chicago, the way that we have set up our page. All right. We're big believers that the first thing that you put up there in your profile photo should be your logo. If you're a person, it should be a good headshot of yourself. Try to refrain from using cat photos or baby pictures. People want to know who they're talking to. And if you're a business and you're trying to, do this for your salon, the logo is easily identifiable as part of that business. If you take a photo of a styling chair or your wash house or shampoo area, that could be anybody's styling chair or wash house. Right? You want to have your logo there because it clearly represents your business. Now, the photo behind the logo on Twitter is called your header. This is really where you can highlight maybe the salon experience or the atmosphere. You can maybe put up a photo of your work, right? Something that's going to showcase your salon. That's where you can have a little bit more freedom. The logo, keep that looking clean and representing your salon. Here's your bio. We filled it with our mission statement. Enhance people's lives. By building people's confidence, we are able to give them better, more successful lifestyles. And I added in, the conversation comes from me. Now, you wouldn't have to do that. It's just a little extra step that we put in so that we could show people who they're really conversing with. And lastly, and this is important, is what are you selling? We're never going to be able to do hair online. Nobody's ever going to be able to download a haircut. But if somebody finds us, we want this link to go back to the easiest way for them to do business with us. So you can see in this example, and if you go to our page right now, our link isn't just to thehairloftltd.com, it's to thehairloftltd.com/reservations. Again, we want them to go right to where they can make a reservation, as opposed to maybe where they could see the menu or our blowouts or anything like that. So if we think about who we're going to tweet at, we can really break down everybody into two different categories. All right, we have our current guest list, and we call those the people that love us. And we have a potential guest list, and those are simply people that don't know that they love us yet. All right, so if we talk about our current guest list, how can we even find our current guests on Twitter? Well, you guys probably have something like this in your salons. And really, it's a guest profile. The old school way of doing it would have been to have maybe like an index card, and when a guest comes in, they fill it out, clipboard, pen, paper. But that's kind of old school. That doesn't really create a lot of wow. So what we developed for ourselves, and we can also develop it for you, is a web app that goes on an iPhone, iPad, Android, whatever the case may be. But when the guest comes in, we hand them this iPad and they fill it all out. It then emails it back to our front desk, and they can put it into our system. So it really works with any system, whether you're using Millennium or Salon Transcripts or any of the other popular ones. But you'll see here in this area, social, right? So we ask all of our guests for their email, their Instagram, and their Twitter, and that's so that we can have this engagement and that we can chat with them. All right. So with our current guest list, what can we use this for? I sat in a lot of social media classes over the last few years, and there always seemed to be a disconnection from the people presenting to what real salons could use this for. All right. So I want to give you real world ideas. First one is replace your thank you notes. All right. The problem with thank you notes is that postcards are expensive. Right. You have to pay to get them printed. You have to pay for the card stock. You got to put postage on them. And you know what? You wrote down the wrong note, and so then it ends up getting sent back to you, and then you realize, man, I just wasted 50, 75 cents on one postcard, and it went nowhere. The great thing about Twitter is that it's free and it's instant. So in this example, right? Grace, so great to meet you today. Hope you love your hair. What's awesome about that is that we know that she got it and she liked it. Right? When you send a postcard, you don't get any sort of feedback. Right? All you know is that you sent it out. Here's another example. It was wonderful having you, Jennifer. Hope you love your hair and have a great weekend. She wrote us back. Thank you, Shannon was awesome. Listen to what I wanted, and didn't force me into something I didn't want. Right? Again, we get this engagement and feedback. Nobody that has ever gotten a postcard has ever written back to the salon to say how much they appreciated it. And the last example, our guest Sandy came in. So great to meet you, Sandy. Hope you love your hair and the gala is a huge success. See you soon. In this example, not only did she favorite it and reply to us, She also shared it. So again, think of that postcard. That postcard has never ended up anywhere other than the trash bin. Okay, nobody's ever carried it around with them, shared it with their friends, and said, look at how much my salon loved having me come in. Utilizing this, Sandy retweeted it and shared it with her, again, on average, 208 followers, which means a lot more to us than simply that postcard going in the bin. Next idea for you is confirmations. The way that we run confirmations in our salon is 48 hours in advance of somebody's reservation, they get an email confirmation. If it's not confirmed within the 24 hours that they've gotten that email, we then call. However, if we have their Twitter handle, we try and tweet at them. Right? So, here you go. Looking forward to having you tomorrow. And they favored it. Again, this is shareable. Right? If you're just doing email confirmations, nobody forwards that email confirmation on to anybody. If you're doing voice calls, nobody shares those voicemails with their friends saying, hey, listen to this, my friend, I'm going to the salon tomorrow. People even respond, right? So in this example, Crystal favorited it and then responded to us. So we know that she got the message. And again, going back to comparing this to other things, it's all free, right? 140 characters, send it out, and you're done. Now, guest photos, right? I think that there's a misconception that, because Twitter started as just 140 characters, that's all it is. But they've built out a really rich media program, whether you're sharing photos or videos or vines, right? These little 6-second snippets. But for guest photos, it's a great platform to be able to share your work. Right? So whether you're taking your own photos of the work that you do, right? Awesome braid work that we did in the salon. Beautiful blowout that our stylist Lisa did with our phone number and the hashtag blowout so that we can join in the blowout conversation. Here's an example of some extensions work that honestly you wouldn't even know that she had extensions in it, right? So it's a great platform for you to be able to show off photos that you take of your work. But it's also a great program or platform to be able to share the photos that your guests are taking. All right, so Stephanie here came in and she did a Locks of Love donation. She took this photo herself. How awesome is it that we get to share in her excitement for her new makeover? Or this example of Juliana, who got this awesome haircut from Shannon. Her hair when she came in was down past her shoulders, middle of her back, and this was the cut and style that she left with. So if she's excited about it, we're excited that she's excited. We want to share that with everybody so that they know how awesome just being at the hair loft is. We also like to make our own artwork, and kind of play into some other things, right? Do it for you, impress your selfie. Be someone that makes you happy, right? And you are that someone. So the type of photos that you can share are certainly endless, but it is a great program and platform that does more than just text. And one thing that we often see because of Instagram making it so easy to share photos from Instagram to Twitter is that people do a lot of push from Instagram to Twitter, but what you're not seeing is that in Twitter, an Instagram photo just shows up as a link. It doesn't show up as an embedded photo in the news feed. So it would be better for you to take the extra 5 seconds, 10 seconds to share that photo on Instagram and then upload it again onto Twitter so that it is living where it should be natively on each platform. All right, so those were some ideas for you to use Twitter with people that currently love you. But what about the people that don't know that they love you yet? All right, how can we find these people? First is search. All right, we talked about how important search is on Twitter, and I want to walk you through this. Now, it works on both the desktop and the mobile version of Twitter, but I think that, to me, I like using it on the desktop version. I think it's just easier. So when you're logged into your Twitter page on your feed, in the top section there, you'll find the search bar. All right. When you go up there, in this example, we'll say that we're going to search for hair color. When you search for hair color, you get a whole bunch of different messages. All right. You have tweets containing it. You've got photos. You have people named hair color, I guess. But what you'll see over here on the left-hand side is this tab called Advanced Search. When you do that, you get to this page where you can dive a little bit deeper into what you're searching for. All right, so you can search for words, exact phrases, hashtags. You can search for people, right? So if you're looking for tweets about hair color from Taylor Swift, right? Maybe she's tweeted about it. You could find that. Places, which is key, dates, and other. All right, so here's the ones that I think are important for us. I like to search for an exact phrase. So I'm going to look for the exact phrase of hair color or highlights or whatever the case may be, but this exact phrase. I'm going to search for where because it's really important. I don't really necessarily from the salon standpoint need to be talking to people in California about hair color. Our salon is in Chicago, and that to me is where we're trying to interact with people. So I'm going to change that location. Now some people might be thinking, well, how does that even work? When people tweet from their phones and they have location services turned on, Twitter holds the location of that tweet and sort of locks its location with the GPS and everything to that message. So you can type in your area, your zip code, and really drill down into your neighborhood in terms of where you're looking for people talking about that exact phrase that you were searching for. In the bottom section, you can search for positive, negative, or questions. Now, people that are positively talking about hair color, like, oh, I love my hair color, those aren't probably the people that are really looking to switch salons. But the other ones might be, right? So somebody might say, oh my gosh, I don't like my hair color. Well, that could be somebody that you might want to talk to. Somebody might post a question. Thinking about changing my hair color, what should I do? And again, this is important in how I started, and I said, if you were at a cocktail party and somebody came up and offered you their business card and started talking to you and, come into the salon, you should get your hair done, I could do your hair, that's going to be a real turnoff. So if you find these tweets and you reply to people, be open about it. Just start a conversation. What hair color is catching your eye? What's been your favorite hair color that you've ever done? Right? By doing that, that gets people excited. That starts a conversation. And then, hey, they might think, who's this person that's tweeting at me? They go back to your profile, they see your bio, and then they have the link there to make a reservation for you. That is how organic discovery and business happens on the social web. You can't force it, but if you go out there and you talk to people, just like you would in the real world, great things can happen. When it comes to followers, lots of people sort of have a misconception that it's about numbers. And certainly you want to have big numbers, right? But the thing that you want to have more than that is engagement. Sometimes people have 10,000 followers, yet nobody ever favorites a tweet or replies. Versus, you might be in a small area, you may only have, 100 followers, couple hundred followers, but those people are retweeting everything that you have. They love, they comment, they tweet back to you. That's what you want to have. You want to have that level of engagement. But I think that a great way for us to build our followers is actually to begin by following other people. So I want you to think about this though. What type of guest do you want? I don't know if that's ever an exercise that you've done, but who's your target guest for you in the salon? What type of person do you want to build a clientele with? All right. Now I want you to take it a step further and really try and focus on this. Where do they eat? Right? What kind of restaurants in your neighborhood would they go to? What do they drive? Where do they shop? Maybe where do they work out or hang out? All right. So in this example for us in Chicago, Paris Club is a great restaurant, lounge, bar, club. And so a lot of our guests, they like going there. We've got a really big Mercedes-Benz dealership near our salon. Trunk Club is a really great men's fashion boutique that is just a few blocks away. And East Bank Club is sort of the high-end, it's almost like a country club in the city, right? But it's a gym workout facility. Again, it's near our salon. And so thinking about this is really kind of our ideal guest. We want somebody that's going out to these great restaurants. We want somebody that, buys nice cars. We want people that are fashionable, and they're kind of in the see and be seen crowd. So it's really important for us then to look at what Paris Club is doing on Twitter, right? Because when my guests come in and they're going to say, I don't know, DJ so-and-so or DJ Awesome is going to be there this weekend, I want to sound like I know what's going on. And so I could say, oh, yeah, I saw that he was going to be there, right? So follow them, right? How important would it be so that you know the events that are going on in and around your neighborhood that your guests are going to be going to? Look, we can't go to all of these events, but by using, again, a little social engineering, we can be in the know and we can understand what's going on. So let's follow those places. But I said that I want to know the people that go to Paris Club. And I hope that everybody could agree with me that after following Paris Club, there's 8,000 people that follow Paris Club. So wouldn't it make a lot of sense for me to follow those people? Because I bet that the people that follow Paris Club on Twitter are also the people that go there for dinner or go there to hang out. And so, don't just spam everybody. Twitter will block you if you just start following 1,000 people at a time. But, do 10, 15. And you may get 25% of those people to just follow you back because you followed them. You'll also just end up with people in your feed. And so maybe you'll see a conversation that you can add a little bit of value to, talk to them, and you never know where things are going to go, right? But if you're open on the social web and you're smart about who you start following and the businesses and everything, that's where things can lead to a good place. All right. Now, hashtags. Hashtags, what they are essentially is a conversation or a topic, right? And so you'll see some people, some celebrities, when they tweet out a new hashtag, they can create a trending topic nearly instantly because they have so many followers. Justin Timberlake or Jimmy Fallon, right? They can tweet it out, and then in 20 minutes, the entire world is talking about it. But that's because they have a lot of followers and they have that celebrity factor. The reality is that most of us probably don't have that ability. And so it's important to understand that your hashtag probably won't trend. I say probably because there's always a possibility that things could go viral and something will take off. But it's more important, I think, to use what's already trending. Why force a conversation? If people are already talking about a certain topic, why not go ahead and just join in on that? So again, if we go back to Twitter and we're looking at our feed, over here on the left side, these are our trending topics. So in this example, Foo Fighters is there, Chicago, Taylor Swift is trending. Right, so instead of forcing a conversation, why don't we just talk about Taylor Swift because people are already talking about her new album, whatever the case may be, but we're going to talk about her hair. Right, we're going to talk about, what do you think of this style on Taylor Swift? And so people that are trying to find out more information about Taylor, they'll see our tweet and maybe they'll join in on our conversation about her hair. All right, this next section, I would call it from here on out more of like Twitter 102, right? We're talking about richer content and things that they're going to take a little bit more effort maybe, but I think that they're really important. People cannot really check into a business on Twitter. That's more of a thing on Foursquare or Swarm or Yelp or all these different things that allow this check-in service where you can virtually check into a business. But a lot of them push that over to Twitter. All right, so you can see this example of Lauren, hashtag blonde ambitions at the Hair Loft Limited. It's really important though for you to be aware of this. If somebody is going to do a check-in online, it's just the same way as if they were walking in the door. And so I believe that it's important for us to acknowledge them, right? So if Lauren does this, it's important for us to respond and say, Lauren, thank you so much for coming into the salon today. It's so great to have you. If somebody walked in the door, we would say the same thing. Hey, Lauren, how are you? And so our big push with social media is to connect your online and offline worlds. They are not separated anymore. They are one and the same. And so that's why I think that responding to your guests is so important. Case in point, this summer I was doing a tour with Paul Mitchell Schools in California. I got to spend a couple of days at Disneyland. I had a great dinner. I tweeted at Disneyland and said, oh, what a great way to end the day with my dinner. Um, and lo and behold, they responded back to me and said, Ben, it sounds like a great way to end a special day. Thanks for spending it with us. And I thought, oh my gosh, if Disneyland can scale responding to individuals that are tweeting at them, how can us and our small businesses be left behind, right? We get maybe, what, a couple of tweets a day, some maybe even lower than that. And here you have Disneyland that has thousands, if not tens of thousands of tweets coming at them every day, being able to respond and give me that one-on-one feeling, right? It really inspired me to be able to respond to every guest no matter what. Another vein, or another way to take richer content is a simple idea of just make people happy. You'd be surprised at how little effort it sometimes takes in order to make people happy. And so if you're paying attention in your feed, just listen to what people are saying. Right? So in this example, one of our guests, she had run out of patience for today. And I think that we've all been there where you wake up and you almost feel like you've had a predetermined bad day. Well, our guest, she had also, as I saw some of her other tweets come in, just had some sort of knee surgery or something, and so she was on crutches and she was really frustrated. So we responded and told her, we want to brighten your day, Meredith, so we're going to send you a $25 gift card towards a massage. Now, here's the thing. Some people are going to say, you gave away $25. Guys, a massage is $90. So really, if she comes in, I'm still going to make $65 on it. So she responded. She said, Hairloft, thank you. That sounds amazing. Just need these knee MRI results. All right. So again, this is a really good example of how to be able to use these for business building. Meredith was actually a guest that hadn't been to our salon in a few months. So she was on the edge of us probably losing her. And so by reaching out and being able to brighten her day while also bringing her back to the salon, it's a win-win. Here's another example from my guest, Paul. He tweeted out this image with this stamp. If you guys can't make it out, it's a rubber stamp of a seal, and then on the stamp it says seal of approval. I want this for reasons. Now, I don't know the reason why Paul wanted it, but it does kind of speak very much into who he is. But he's a great guest of mine. He's come to me for years. He's recommended some friends to come to. And just generally speaking, he's one of my favorites because we always talk movies and technology and different things. And you know what? The standard when people recommend people, I think, is, here's $5, $10, $20 off your next service. Thank you so much. But so I found this little stamp on Etsy. It was $25, not a real big investment, so I ordered it for him. And I think that is such a greater reward for people being a guest of yours rather than just giving someone $10 off. When he came in, I said, Paul, I've got a little gift for you, and it's just for you. I don't, it's not for everybody. Gave it to him, wrapped up in a little bag, and he was so impressed and surprised because he had tweeted this out weeks ago before his appointment that we had taken notice and gotten it for him. And then he, of course, tweeted it out and shared it with everyone that we had done that. And so I just think that if you get a little bit more creative with your reward systems, you really have a potential to wow your guests a lot more. I think that we all have that one guest that, she has recommended all of her friends, all of her family to come and see us. Wouldn't it mean so much more where if a guest has recommended us, 5 guests, instead of giving them $50 to come to the salon, she tweets out that she wants to go to this restaurant. Hey, we got you a $50 gift card to go to this new restaurant that's opening that you said you wanted to go to. That creates such a bigger impression and wow for the guest rather than just $10 off. So your plan for tomorrow, right? We want to give some examples of what we think are ways to structure good tweets. All right, so again, how to look on Twitter. You'll have your salon logo, your name and your handle come in there. But here's an example. All right, teachers, bring in your school ID today to get whatever your offer or maybe a discount. We don't really do a lot of discounting, but if you wanted to do something to reward or honor teachers, I think that National Teachers Day would be a great example. All right, another example here. Hashtag trivia. Who knows when or where our salon first opened? we'll retweet the correct answer. Now, maybe if your salon just opened last week, this wouldn't be a very good tweet. The answer is 6 days ago, right? But if you've been in business a while, like our salon, we've been in business since 1980. This could be a fun one for us to do. You could also do, when did we launch a product, or when did we add the spa, right? There's ways for you to get around this, but trivia game is kind of a fun thing. And by saying that you'll retweet the right answer, it gets people a little excited in terms of being able to share their Twitter handles and get their names out there. All right, and last one, need advice on how to color or curl, right? Today we'll share styling advice from our stylist, and this would be a great way then to cross promote your platforms a little bit. So say that you're going to shoot a video and do a blog post or a vlog on how to use the new curling iron that you just launched, right? So by tweeting this out, people that maybe are guests that normally see that stylist, they're going to get excited that they're going to see this, or maybe they really have an interest in trying to figure out how to set or style their hair in that manner. And so this is where your Twitter can build back into your website, can build into your YouTube page, and everything really works cohesively and builds your brand across different platforms. And then lastly is gather information. All right, so again, if you want to keep it old school and go with the index card route on a clipboard, that's fine. But truly, when a guest walks in and you're utilizing new technology that gets people excited, that, technology just engages people. And we're living in a world where technology is so much more important. So we can build this for you. We'll drop in your logos, we'll drop in your colors, we can switch up the questions a little bit, but I really think that it's important for you to have something that's going to wow people. We would love it if you would follow Form and Function so that you can stay connected and we can continue to help grow your successful lifestyle in the salon. If you want to subscribe to us here on YouTube, you can. We've got a button here for you to do so, or you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or check out our website at ffsaloneducation.com. I've been Benjamin J. This has been a Form and Function, a social engineering webcast on Twitter, and we can't wait to share more with you. Thanks for listening.